Hey, hey, welcome back to Don't Run with Scissors. I'm Kelly, your favorite Jeep driving lawyer, mom of twins, three crazy rescue dogs who likes to craft in her spare time, has gone back to school to be a certified ASL interpreter, and is training for Ironman somehow still. Kind of, maybe. I don't know. Okay, so let's get into it. So welcome. If you're new here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. It sends me a message to boost my self-esteem, and don't we all need that? If you're returning, welcome back to the crazy. You know what you're in for. Grab a drink, sit back. Let's have at it. It's going to be kind of a short one. I have to run my son to PT. Still not feeling great. We're getting there. They've changed the meds again, giving me a little bit stronger meds because, breathing is important. Breathing is important. So, okay. Before I forget, sign of the week. Actually, that's sign of the day. Sign of the week. Oh, Lord. Let's do bacon. I don't know that we've done bacon yet. So you're going to take your two little fingers and you're going to make wavy little bacon. Bacon. Not my favorite. My son loves bacon. My daughter, no. My daughter likes sausage links. So I rotate. So, it's Michigan. It's been crazy. We went from like, oh my God, let's take the top off George and drive around, to it was chilly and damp and rainy and a little crazy. That said, though, I am extremely grateful. My neighbor, who lives like a block away, I posted on our little community board on Facebook. Can somebody look at my lawnmower? Let me know if I just need to go buy a new one and call it a day or what. He said, let me look at it. He fixed it. And he won't take any money from me. So I want to, I don't know. I think if I remember from his post, he's diabetic. But I know they also do a lot with, like, they catch the feral cats that are in our community, and then she goes and has them fixed, and then they re-release them, which is fine. Like, to be honest with you, it keeps like rodents and stuff away from the community. So really, I don't like, whatever. The only reason I have an issue with it is because they seem to get under my place, and they've now ripped up the underbelly, because the other day Nigel was barking and scraping at the heat vent here, and my son opened up the heat vent, and there was a little kitten staring at him. And I just a year ago paid to have the underbelly all redone, to the tune of several $1,000s. And yeah, so I'm really thrilled. But I don't know how to keep the cats out. But at the same time, like, if the cats are there, then I know I'm not going to have mice. So I'm like, but I don't want the cat to get up into my heating. So, okay. So we have been plugging away at Whip Goggles. The one I can't show you because I returned it to Maryland. My son is here. He's going to ask me a question and interrupt this, and I'm going to tell him in about 5 minutes. Give me like 5 minutes, and we'll head over to PT. Okay. So, my Whip Go pulls this month were Ink Circles, the map that I'm doing for my son, and Monopoly that I'm doing for my son. And then the center square I had that I was going to knit the other sock. In order to, I will still knit the sock this year because I want that project done. But in order to take a little bit off my shoulders, I switched it out, and that was to finish the quilt project. Again, I'm sorry that I don't have it for you. But Marilyn got on a flight today to go see her sister-in-law, and that quilt had to go with her. So I met with her yesterday. If you check out my Instagram, you'll see I fixed all the holes and stuff in it. Some of the holes were clear through. And in stitching it, the fabric had gotten so thin that it was like stitching toilet paper thin. So you would stitch, and then all of a sudden another little hole would pop up. Told her, you're going to have to wash it by hand. Hardly ever use it. Like, it just held together with a wing and a prayer and some thread. But I know I did good because, I'm sorry, my hearing aid is bothering. It's like the little wires are popping up. When I handed her, I showed her yesterday, like, tears. So, makes it all worth it. So I am going to go ahead and, for now, cross out that center square. Like I said, I will go back and I'll finish the sock anyways. But, so what I've been trying to do is keep working on Marine Corps emblem because that is a gift and I want it done. So I did make all 10 days in this last week. I finished up my 10 days because that was last month. Well, I switched it last month because it was supposed to be Lady of the Flag, but I ended up working on Marine Corps emblem. So I did meet that box square. So we are, let's see, there we go. Wait, forgive me. Even on, see, Amy, even on small projects, I'm still flipping around fabric and kind of lost. Okay. So you guys all remember the story of the saga of the circle and the torture that was. But whatever, we made it, only to find out that this circle should have been this dark gold rather than black. Whatever, we adjust and move forward. Adjust and move forward. That is the name of the game. Adjust and move forward. So, this circle band, I have it basic, almost to the halfway point at this point. I may take this one with me tonight. The boy has another band concert. Another one. Oh my God. We had one last week. Then he played at graduation commencements all day Saturday. And then we have another concert tonight. It's all good. So I may take this with me. But we'll see. So I got my 10 days. And that was a huge woohoo because like I said, I had been stressing. I was behind. I'm only behind in my own brain, to be fair. Okay, so then I pulled out the map cell. I've gotten 2 days worth of work on this. We did kind of decide how far. This is done on 14 count Aida that I coffee tea, chai tea dyed, baked in the oven. It's a long process, but it looks, it's probably not going to show up on camera, and that's kind of a bummer. The chai tea smell is finally, it's gone, which kind of makes me sad because it always smelled really good when I worked on it. If you know, you know. But it does look like old parchment, like old dirty parchment in person. It like I love this fabric. So my son and I decided that is how big it will be. It won't be quite as wide, but that is the length. So I've got almost well, we're getting there. That's 2 days worth of work. And I do have most of my colors of thread saved, so that I don't have to, because if you guys remember, I was worried that I didn't pull the threads that I was going to use. I was notorious for that. And then you're like trying to match up because I forgot to write down stuff. So I'm trying to be better about life and being more organized. So this month, in the next couple days, I still have 8 days to get on that one. I think we are on day 3 of the Monopoly board. This is actually It's done on, I am doing it on 18 count, like off-white, not quite ivory, I don't think it is. I don't think I put my pattern away. Whoops, whoops, I didn't. Okay, so this is an older pattern. Well, it tells me when Monopoly was copyright, but it doesn't tell me, I don't see offhand when the pattern was copyrighted. Copyrighted, trademark, whatever. So I am changing mine to Musicopoly with the different instruments and bands and whatnot. But all of, like, that will stay the same. Like, my outline, the light blue, and then the black. The squares, the colors will all stay the same. My go square will stay the same. I guess I'm here. I'm working in here. So I have, I think, 3 days done out of 10 on this. But actually, yes. So here's my go square. It's like this. Here's the, yes, here's the go square. It's backwards in my camera and it's throwing me off. So here's the go square. This would be boardwalk. However, in this case, it will be French horn, because that is the instrument my son plays, and that is the most valuable land on the board. So that's how we're deciding it. Over here would be Mediterranean Park Place. However, it is going to be like kazoo, recorder, harmonica, maybe. Kazoo and recorder for Mediterranean and Park Place. Wait, Mediterranean Avenue and Baltic Avenue are going to be kazoo and recorder. I realized I forgot harmonica. Now William wants me to take out kazoo and put harmonica. I don't want to take out kazoo. So do I just leave harmonica out? Because in the next 3 are set for Oriental, Vermont, and Connecticut, they'll be replaced with triangle, cowbell, tambourine. Like, really and truly, there's a bazillion more instruments we could put in this thing. But that's not bad for 3 days worth of work. So I don't know. So that's where we're at with that. So that is all of my stitching. I have no haul because I've been trying to be really good, and actually right now my budget is super tight. It's scary tight. Yeah. We did, so, okay, so here's the other thing. If you all could keep your fingers crossed, I am looking at the program that I thought I was going to do for a master's doctorate degree is only on campus, and I am not in a position where I can move to Washington, D.C. to go to school for 2 years or even a year. That's just not feasible at this stage of my life. So I am looking at other programs. I may have to do one master program and then do the other kind of thing, which is fine. So we are looking at those. But there is a chance that by the end of the year, I may have my student loans from law school paid off. So if everybody could keep their fingers crossed, that would be really huge. Really huge. Which, to be fair, once those are paid off, that also will mean I will be able to qualify for a better house loan, mortgage, and that's huge too. So, if we could all just send the good vibes, because, yeah. Okay, so this next week, I have my last couple days of mediation. I have a couple cases that I've got to get filed in the next day or two. So I'm working hard on those. I'm trying to feel better. I'm hoping to maybe get into the pool next weekend before we talk again, and a couple bike rides in, even if they're shorter. I have some homework to do for ASL. My ASL teacher on Thursday nights is a little bit of a wackadoodle. We went to class Thursday night, and I get that we're all adults and that, when you're interpreting for other people, you don't necessarily have the luxury of always agreeing with what they're saying. And your job isn't to be the censor of that material, but rather just to convey that between parties. And I feel like this teacher, he's deaf, and he's older. He's actually older than me, which is fine. I think he forgot to have a very valuable conversation to put some things into context. And as a result, conversations and statements were made that were, without that conversation, predicating conversation or precursor conversation, were very hurtful and marginalizing. And it is not just me being sensitive, because, like, whatever, but I'm still trying to figure out how best to handle that class and in dealing with this professor going forward. Because again, I think that in the right okay, there are certain topics that are never going to be acceptable to talk about. There just aren't. We were going through, and each of us were giving a scenario, and we had to basically convey that scenario without using actual formal ASL. And then we had to go back and re-sign it using formal ASL. So the first person went, and that student happens to be Hispanic, and he asked her where her favorite restaurant is, totally mundane. And he says, "Do they serve tacos there? You must like tacos." And I didn't think anything of it, because, I mean, who doesn't like tacos? I mean, tacos are a main food group to me. And, like, I will never turn down tacos. Like, if you say, let's go for tacos, I'm going to be like, let's go. Grab your shoes. Let's go. And be running out the door. He gets to me. I'm the second person. And the question he said, the scenario I had to explain was that his car had broke down, and I needed to call his hearing wife and let her know that his car broke down and he needed her to come help him. Totally mundane. That is a very reasonable thing to have to do and to translate, like, or interpret. That's not a problem. This the next student happens to be a friend of mine. She's black. She's a black woman. And he says, "Do you want to go to church?" No. And he says, "You don't go to church?" And she's like, "No." He goes, "Oh, you must be a partier and drug addict." Goes to the next person, who also is like my friends. We all, the ones of us been in class together. We all sit together. Goes to the next guy. Again, good friend of mine. Tall, white man. And he asks him if he is an NAZI. I have a hard time even saying the word. As many books as I have read about World War II and Holocaust, that is just not. because the assumption is that all white men apparently are of that that philosophical belief. My friend is like, no, 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 no. Girl sitting next to him I've never met before. She's in my Wednesday night class, but we weren't in person. And she is of Middle Eastern descent. And he asked her if her family are all terrorists, like the people who flew the plane into the Twin Towers. And it proceeded, like hitting every racially stereotyped, hateful thing, except for one other person who he asked, who happened to be an older white woman, to describe what a hawk was. I'm still processing how I'm going to handle that. I think had the conversation happen, like, hey, we are going to talk and hit on things that we know are going to hit nerves, because you've got to get sort of outside of your comfort and like not react to those things and just relay the information between the parties. Had that conversation happen, would those things still be okay? No. But at least would have put some context around the situation. And I asked if maybe last week when I was so sick and I didn't make it to class, if maybe that conversation happened, because I was like, did that just happen when we went on break? And everybody's like, yeah, no conversation about that. So I'm a little, yeah. So I don't know. Because I'm not one of these people who rushes off and like, well, let's go talk to the department chair. That's not appropriate. Like, but I do feel like a conversation needs to be had about that. So I'm dealing with that. Okay, so that's this. So I've got homework and stuff this week still to do. I've got these at least two cases that have to go, ideally 3, that have to go in the next couple days. And I've got a bunch of t-shirts to Cricut and iron. I think what I figured out on the iron, I'm just not pushing down long enough and holding. And that's why my letters are coming up, and that really sucks because, yeah. So at some point, I will be soon, hopefully, I will be getting one of those nice, not the Cricut one, but like a nice t-shirt press to make my life a whole lot easier and more efficient. So if you have any recommendations on those, preferably like maybe off the Zon, because then I can Amazon Prime it, that would be great. So with that, that's all I got. That is life. That is life going forward. Winging a prayer. I got to get my kid to PT. And yeah, I will talk to you all later. Bye. Love you.